So hello, my name is Prityank, and today we will be studying that how we can create a REST API, CRUD, create, read, update, and delete application backend with Express, and we will be using PostgreSQL as a database to save the information. So there are some prerequisites that I should discuss with you. First of all, Node.js should be installed in your computer, and PostgreSQL also. If it is installed, then it's good. And if you don't have PostgreSQL, you can go to this site neon.tech. This one neon.tech. So let me wait until it's opening. So I have already signed up there. You can go and sign up. So create one project. I have created this one. So what you need to do is connect. Click on connect, and there is this connection string. So you can copy this connection string, and you will have to paste it. I will tell you later. So you can just copy this for now. Okay. So now first of all, let us understand what are REST APIs. So REST APIs, it is a way for application to communicate with each other over the internet using standard HTTP methods like GET, POST, PUT, and delete. You can think of like humans communicate. There are many methods of communicating for humans. Like we communicate by speaking, we communicate by writing. So there are HTTP methods for applications to communicate each on the internet. So there are four most used methods like GET, POST, PUT, and delete. Okay. So first of all, let us understand these methods. So methods for APIs to communicate. Get. This we can think of like if we want to get some information from the server. So it is used to get the data from the server as its name suggests. Example, when you open Instagram, so it fetches the post to show to you from the server. So it sends the get request there. Okay. So let me show to you. We can go to www.google.com. Okay. So here it comes. Inspect, then we go to network tab. As you can see, these are all the requests that it sent it to the server. So we can click on this one. So we can see that it is a get request. Means it requested to the server that it want to get something like what that is important for it, and we can see its status is 200. 200 means the request has been successfully passed. Okay. So now let me get back. Okay. Let me close this one both. Now post request. It is used to send some data to the backend. Like you can think of when you create an account on Instagram or when you log into the Instagram. So you have to enter your email and password. So the email and password are validated through the server. So the Instagram sends post request to its server to validate that if the password is correct or not. The credentials you entered. Now dispatch method, it is used to update the data that is saved on a server, like updating your name on any website. So usually when we want to update something that user wants, so we send the patch request to the user, to the server. Okay. Then there comes the last method, that is delete. As its name suggests, this method is used to delete the information from the server. Okay. So now let's move to our next step, that is we will discuss ORM. So first of all, as I said, we will working with PostgreSQL as a database. So first of all, let me tell you, we will use Prisma to execute the queries. So what is Prisma? It is a ORM that allows developers to work with data as object in their programming languages. So let me tell you what it is. Suppose we want to find the user where ID equal to 3. So in Postgres we will write a query like this: select star from users where ID equal to 3. Okay. So that is we have to write in Postgres to find that user. In Prisma, if we are using Prisma as a ORM, so what we would do is that Prisma dot user, that is the model we have created, dot find something like this, where where id slash colon 3. So as you can see, it looks like a object, like this Prisma is the object under which user is one more object, and under that there is a find method which we can use to find the user. So it gives us the feel that we are just writing JavaScript. So now we have done enough talking. Now let's move to the code. So first of all, you can create a folder where we will. I have created one, so you can create. Okay, so I will open it with VS Code. You can use any editor you are using. So first of all, we have to initialize a Node.js npm in it. So that we can install the libraries and dependencies that are used, that we will use, like Express. You can execute this command to do npm in it. Okay. So as you can see, it has created package.json file. So now we can install the dependencies. So let me open Chrome. So first of all, to initialize Prisma and PostgreSQL database, you can go to prisma.docs.getting started page. So here they give a quick start. So the commands you have to execute to initialize Prisma. So first of all, make directly hello Prisma. So we have already created one directory. Okay. Wait. And so you can create one directory, then open it with VS Code like I does. I have also executed this command npm init-by, so which creates package.json file. So then we need to install TypeScript. We will use TypeScript because it provides more type safety and it's good. TypeScript, and we have to install the types. So you can copy this command and go to VS Code here, just paste it. So let me wait until it installs. So as you can see, it is installed it, and here is the node modules folder. It contains all the libraries that we have installed from the npm. so no need to touch that folder. So now Chrome. So now let's initialize the TypeScript in it. So what we will do, npx tsc in it. Okay, it. Oh, sorry, I forgot that is npx tsc dash dash in it. So as you can see, it has created this tsconfig.json file. So here search for src. So out there where it is. Let me find myself. So you can just create something like this here. Out there. So out there will be, we can name it as dist and source, and then you have to write source, not source, root dir, root dir, root dir. That will be source. So we will write the TypeScripts files in this directory. Let me create one source directory, and all the compiled file, the TypeScript is compiled to JavaScript, that will be in this directory. Let me show you. So let me create a one ts file there, hello.ts. So I'm just doing console.log hello here. So if we now run this command tsc-b, so it will create this directory that will contain this compiled file with hello.js extension, because at a server or js file is used. So as you can see here, it compiled this language, this ts file into this hello.js. Okay, so we will never have to see this file, we will just write TypeScript. Okay, so now you can delete that. You can also delete that if you create it. No need to, it will fix itself. Okay, so now let's initialize Prisma. We have done this one, npx tsc init, we have initialized TypeScript. Now we have to install the Prisma. So we can just paste this and let me wait until it installs. So as you can see, I have installed Prisma also. Now let's go back to that quick start to follow the next step. So now what we have to do is run this command. We have to initialize Prisma also. So we can copy this and go to, make sure to replace SQLite with PostgreSQL. Okay, just do that and it will initialize. So as you can see, it has initialized this Prisma directory. We have schema.prisma here. So now we have also initialized Prisma. So now let's connect to the Prisma database. So as you can see there, we have to paste the URL in env file. So there is this env file. So here we have to paste the URL. So I'm pasting mine. You can just paste yours. I've told you in the starting that if you don't have Prisma installed, so you can go to this website, neon.tech. Let me open this in another browser. This one, neon.tech. So you can create an account here and sign up. After then you can create one project like I have created. So what you can do is connect, click on this button, copy this connection string, and then go to VS Code, then paste it here in the environment file. Okay, so this one like this. So you can do that. I'm doing this, okay, because I have installed the Prisma locally, sorry, PostgreSQL locally. So this is schema.prisma file where we will define all our models. Like we want to, we have to create the user model. Model means like how it looks. You can say it like blueprint. So so now let us create a user model. So we can define how our model would look like. So model user. First of all, we need to give the ID to the model. So ID. So the ID should be unique. So we can do this by first of all, I think we have to provide the data type, like the ID should be integer or string. So in our case, it will be integer. So integer. We want it to be unique, and we don't have to provide ID again and again. So we can use something like at the default auto increment. So what it will do, it will increment the ID by one itself. So we don't have to provide the ID again and again, and we don't have to check always that it is unique or not. The PostgreSQL or Prisma will handle it itself. Okay. So now we want to have a name of the user. So name we can use. The name should be string. Okay. Then we want last name. It should be string. Then we want email. It should also be string. And lastly, we want password. It should also be string. Okay. So we can leave last name. It's not that much important. So now this is the model we have created. So now let us migrate this user model so that the Prisma will create a user table in the PostgreSQL. So npx Prisma migrate dash name. We can give this name. I am giving it in it. Okay. So it is migrating, so you can click that yes. So it have done migrating, and you can see the migrations file. If we look at this, so in it, this is the name we given to it, migration.sql. So it executed all these queries by itself. First of all, it created the table user. The command we executed is this one, npx prisma migrate dev, and we defined our user. Okay. So what it does? First of all, it created the table for us. Created table user ID, name, email, password. Then created a unique index for user ID because we defined it as at unique, at the rate unique. Okay. Then it had done same this for email. So you can see that we don't have to write this much query by ourselves. The Prisma had done its job. So now, if we want to see that if tables are created or not, so we can execute the command npx prisma studio. Okay, so we can see it is a user model, ID, name, email, password. That is the four uh, uh, rows that we have done. Okay, so now let's move to the next step. So first of all, we will create a Prisma client so that we can access our user model through that client. So let me create a DB folder, and inside the DB folder we will create a file named prisma.ts. So what we will do is that we will generate the Prisma client inside this file, and we will export the Prisma client from here so that we can use this at more places. So first of all, let me import Prisma client. Okay, so now const Prisma is equal to new Prisma client. So that's all we have to do here. Just we can export it, default export, because there is just one file for Prisma. Okay, so if we now let's see what are the properties and methods that Prisma client have. Dot, like we have this user property. So Prisma dot user dot create. So this user property points to this user. So from here we can uh, create the user. So we will perform this operation later. So we have exported this default Prisma. Okay. So now let me create an index.ts file inside source directory. Index.ts. That is the main file where we will be running our servers and all that. So now now let's install the Express to create the server. So let me go to the npm to copy. So npm Express. So we have to install Express, but we are also using TypeScript. So we have to also install the Express types. So add types slash Express. Add types slash Express. So let me wait until this installs. Then we will initialize our server. So now we have installed it Express also. So let's initialize our server now. So first of all, we will import Express from Express. Okay. Then we will initialize the app, const app equal to Express. So first of all, I will make a test root app.get slash test, and the callback functions take two argument. First is request, and the another one is response. So request contains all the requests that user sends, and it contains in this object request.body. This is the object which contains all the requests which are sent by the user. So user send it through body, and the response is by the response we can send the response to the user. So for example, rest.send dash hello. So I'm just sending a plain text here for now. Let's set up so that our server listens on some port app dot listen. So we want to listen on port 3000. So we can console.log server is up on port 3000. Okay, so that's the basic of the Express. We have initialized our server. So now we can do, first of all we need to compile the TypeScript. So you have to run this command tsc-b. So as you can see, the dist folder is created. All the TypeScript files are migrated to JavaScript files. So now we can do node dist slash index.js. So as you can see, server is up on 3000. So let's go to localhost 3000 and see if server is up or not. Wait a minute, what happened? Sorry, test. We have to go to localhost 3000 slash test. So as you can see, hello is written, that I have written here. So first of all, now let's So now let's set up our project. How will our project? Let's set up folders. So first of all, I will create a roots folder where there will be. I will create a user.js, user.ts. So there will be all the roots and okay. So here let me import express from express. We will initialize the router here. So const router is equal to express dot router. Mm, so router dot get slash user. So slash user comma request comma response dot send user router export default router. Okay. So what we have done is we have imported express and we have initialized the express router. So uh, we created this handler router.get slash user, which as of now it sends just this plain text and we are exporting it. So we can use this here. First of all, we can import it something like that, user router from dot slash roots slash user.js. Okay. And we cannot we can use something like this app dot use mm, wait app dot use user router. Okay. So I think now we have to restart our server to reflect the changes. Okay. So now let me go to uh, localhost 3000 slash user slash user. There is some problem. App dot use. I think something like app dot. So first we have to compile the TypeScript. I forgot that. So now let me do one more thing. So we can do something like this slash user. What? Novel or management. Mm, okay. Now it's working. So first of all, we need to compile the TypeScript. Then this slash index.js. So now we can go to localhost 3000 slash test slash user slash get. So we can see the user router here. Okay. So now let us start. First of all, we will import the client that we have created here, Prisma client, which will give access to the user model. So let me import it in the user roots. Import Prisma. Prisma. Okay. Here it is. So first of all, let me clear this one. First of all, we want to create the user. So what we will, when we create the user, we want to send the post request. So we will make here router dot post route. Okay, slash create. You can name it anything, but it should be related to something that you are doing. Request comma response. Uh, so we are using TypeScript, so we can define type of a user, that how the user should look like. First of all, we need name, that is uh, string. Then let me see in the schema. Name, email, password. Name, email, that should also be string, and password string. Okay. Okay, we have defined the type. Now first of all, we should store something that comes from the request.body in the variable. So const input data that is sent by user equal to request.body. Okay. And the input data should be of type user. Then we have imported, then we want to save that data. So prisma dot, first of all we have to make this function asynchronous. So const user is equal to await prisma dot user dot create. So this is the this will so we are just using functions and methods, but behind the scenes prisma will execute this query like create user, something like that. Prisma dot create dot user data. Data should be input data. Okay. So now we also want to check if the user is created or not. No, it is not created now, but later. So let me open Prisma Studio also here. So here we will get all those things. Okay. So let me do something like error handling also, if not user. So we can throw new error that an error occurred. User was not created. Okay. When, if there is no error, so we can send the user. Or we can send the user to the user. So we should like if we leave it here, it will work. But let me show you first. So first of all, we will compile the TypeScript and then so we can see now server is upon port 3000. Let me open this postman. It is taking time, my network is slow. Okay, so the root is slash user slash create. So if anyone is thinking like here we have only this one, we have written slash create, but why am I typing the this slash user also? So because in index.ts the user router is initialized, so all these endpoints will work after this one slash user. So first of all, let me type the name and password. So here we are sending the JSON object JavaScript object notation. So it will pass that automatically if we have provided this one. Let me clear this. Uh, we have to do no, app.use express.json. So what it will do? It will itself parse the request body, and we don't need to do like JSON.parse or JSON.stringify. Okay. So now let me send the request. What happened? Oh, I forgot to compile the TypeScript. Now let me send. Is there anything remaining? Schema.id name email password. Okay. Here. So now as you can see the status code is 200 means okay. Request is successful. So it has created the user ID 1 name Pratyank email password. So now let's check our database if it is created or not. So I will refresh it. Now you can see the user is created. Name, email, password. Okay. So now let me tell you why we should always do error handling. So now let me remove the password. So this bad request. Okay. So but now here also our application is breaked. So if we do something like this, that's the reason we should always apply error handling to our routes. Try catch error where dot status. It's sending the status code. So if there was an error, so we will send the 500 status code, which is internal server error. Dot send error. Okay. So now first of all we have to compile it, and we have compiled. Now we can go to, and now let's try to send the error. So there was an error, and this was the error. Name Prisma client validation error because we didn't send the password which is required. And here there is our application didn't break. So we should always apply the error handling, and we can do more error handling, like we can catch the Prisma error, and there are 9 types of Prisma error. So we can tell you that you didn't provide your password. But if I do that, then the video will be too long. And also, like if we don't have to do all the things like this. First we have to compile the TypeScript, and then we have to again legend on the server. We can use nodemon. So I will explain that later, probably in next video. Now first let's create our routes. So I think that's all for this create route. Now let me router dot patch. Now let me create the update route to slash update. Okay, update route. Async function is needed. Request comma response. So when we want to update, so the user have to specify that which user it is updating. So we can do something like this user ID, so that after update route user can provide the user ID after the update endpoint. So first of all we should find the user by the user ID. So const user equal to prisma dot user dot find unique, because there would be only unique user with one user ID. we can specify where where id is request dot params dot user id. Okay, so why it is complaining? Okay, so this is most probably string, so we have to convert it into number. So this is also the reason why we should use Prisma. It is complaining the string is not assignable to type number, and because of TypeScript, so we should convert it first into number. Okay, so here we have converted it. Now we have to update. So what are the things we need to update? So like what user have provided, so we can do something like mhm. So what we can do is we can do something like here we can do find update. So where we need to also give the data which we have to update. So first of all, name. So if there is a name in provided in body request.parents.request.body name, then we will update that. Else we can do something like user dot name. I think previous user, we have to define previous user prisma dot. So to get the previous things also, prisma dot user dot find unique where id is equals to number request dot params dot user id. Okay, so why we need previous user? Because now we can use something like this previous user dot wait, I forgot it. Now we can do something like previous user dot name. So what it does, if user provide the name property in the body, so then the name will be replaced by the body name that user provided. Otherwise the name will remain what was previously. Okay, we can do all the things, something like this email also, request dot body dot email previous user dot email, and similar for password, request dot body dot password and previous user dot password. Okay, what happened? Password. Oh, I forgot to add comma there. Okay, now if not user, if user is not updated, so we can throw again the error, something like this. An error code user was not updated. Else we will rest dot send user, and let me add try catch block here. Try catch, you can do something like this. Okay, so I forgot to. So now we have created the update, so we can update the user also. So first of all, let me compile TypeScript and then run the server again. So now let me test this. So as you can see here, we have previously created user whose name is Pratyank. Let me try to change the name to something else. So slash user slash update. So let me try to Aman. Okay, patch request. We have to send the patch request, so we can select what request are we sending. So because I defined the patch request, so from here we have to send that patch request. What happened? What's the problem now? Oh, I forgot to provide the user ID, I think. So I think the user ID is 1. Yeah, user ID is 1. So now as you can see, status code is 200, means it was successful. Name is Aman, and now we can go to the database, and you can see here the name is Aman. So we have completed our update route also. Now let me create a route where we can get the users by id slash create update get slash user id. So it is easy. Request comma response. So first of all not const user equal to await prisma dot user dot find unique where id is equal to, remember we have to convert it into number request dot parents dot user id. And now if not user, we can throw the error something like this. There was user was not found. Okay, else we can send the user. Okay, then we should always add error handling. I know it's a bit too repetitive, but we can create our error handler in another file and we can use that again and again. But now it's not that much big application we are creating, so we can do something like this. It's okay here. I will show you. I will show you differently if what are the good practices. Later I will show it to you then. So we can send this. Okay, so again we have to compile the TypeScript first, then server is up. So cat slash I have to provide the user ID. I forgot to change that again and again. So by the user name, now let me enter the wrong user ID. So there was a server error. Okay, but it will not break our application. Like you can see, this is because we are using try and catch error handling. So now our last route is remaining, that is delete. If we want to delete, so we can use root.delete and slash delete colon user ID async request comma response. So we can do something like this: const user equal to await prisma dot user dot delete. So we have to provide that which user we have to delete. So we have to delete where id is number of request dot parent dot user id. Okay, and we can do something like this. So it would be good if we name this deleted user, because it is deleted user. Try catch error. Okay, that's good. So now we have created our delete handler also. So first of all we need to compile. So first let me create one more user. Create. Okay, post. So now we can see here two users are created with id 1 and 2. So I want to delete the user with id 1. So we can first we have to choose the method delete, the slash user slash delete slash user slash delete, and we have to specify the id. So the user was deleted. We can go to the database and see there is no user by the id named 1. Now let's try to again delete the user. So this send it there that record to delete does not exist. So because we have already deleted that, so now it does not exist and our application is up. So that's it for today. And there are things like we should make our code more error proof, so that we can provide details that what happened, why the error is caused. So if this video would be too long if I explain that, and then we don't have to use this compile TypeScript and run the server again and again. We can just configure node mode. We can install node one from npm